Hello, everyone. So, I think it's a little bit necessary to explain some of thunder so that you understand what was being talked about in this. Now, I'm not going to do like the whole thing, but just what I think most of you would probably question. Okay? So, when I read this, I read a part where it talked about the first and the last. That should be pretty self explanatory as far as source, or who I refer to as mother, always being in existence and always will to the end. Okay? So it also talked about here where it said, you know what? Just for the video's sake, I'm going to speak in first person because it makes it so much easier for me instead of doing it in like a narrative type of form. All right? So when I speak about I am both harlot and holy, and where it says I am wife and virgin. So basically, what I did in order to create is I cannot create in my whole form. So I split. It's a type of, you could compare it to mitosis somewhat. So when it speaks about I am both harlot and holy, I have many splits with many partners. So that's the harlot part of it. It's not that I'm actually a harlot, but to ones who don't understand, that's the term they would give me because of the number of partners that I have because of my multiple splits, which is why I am holy, because I really am a virgin because I create beings, energetic light beings, with myself. I don't step out of my own union. Okay, so that's how I am both harlot and holy. That's also how I am wife and virgin, because even though I have a spouse, you could call it a spouse, but a counterpart, it is me, it is myself. So that's what that is about. Mother and daughter, when I am in a lesser form, I look at my higher self as mother. Same as the masculine part of myself. When I am in a lower form, I look at myself in the higher form as father. Okay? Now, organs of my mother, barren. So, me in this lesser form, remember, mother, source, is in the higher self, the higher form. So, source is barren without the splitting process. So, without that split, she is barren. So, that's what that is talking about. But then it says, yet many are my sons. Because I'm barren in my whole form, but in my split, I am very, you could say, productive as far as producing offspring. Okay? So that's what it means by yet many are my sons. It is in rhyme and riddles, but that's why I'm trying to explain it to you. I am whose I am she whose marriage is auspicious, but I am husbandless. Once again, going back to what I just explained. My marriage or union with myself is very prosperous. It's, successful, which is what auspicious means. But yet I'm husbandless, technically, in the way that many would think of it, because I am in union with myself. Okay, I am the midwife who doesn't carry the balm of birth pain. So, once again, my higher self does not give birth in the full form. So it is referred to as my higher form self as a midwife who does not have birth pains. But in this split form, where I am bride and groom, sired by my spouse, because I initiate that process in my full form. So I'm sired by my spouse. Hopefully, this is as simple as I can explain it for you. I am mother of my father, sister of my husband, and he's my son. So, in these breakdowns, the stream of consciousness is shared, but yet the perspective changes. So, therefore, I am all of these things to myself. Okay, does that make sense? I'm trying to explain it the best that I possibly can. So, once again, because of the splits, and there are many splits and avatars of myself throughout time in order to accomplish my purpose, because once my high level split, who I helped create the first wave of creation with, rebelled. And this is why I said in the beginning to him, let us create man in our image, in that split masculine and feminine energy from one union source. And those were the 144,000. Those were the very first ones who were created as one who helped create other things throughout the universe. But for this particular planet, they were going to be in our image and not androgynous, as far as humans would understand that term to mean. This is also why in Revelation chapter 14 and verse 4, now you will understand, after what I just explained to you, why the terms were used in those scriptures. So, yeah, I'll read that. Because this concept of virgin is why. Because these ones that were made in God's image would be, as I just explained, like virgins, because they created with themselves by being splits of one. So, I'll read that where it says, well, I'll start in 3 as well. And they were singing a new song before the throne and before the 4 living creatures and before the elders. No one could learn that song except the 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth. It is these who have not defiled themselves with women, for they are virgins. It is these who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These have been redeemed from mankind as firstfruits for God and the Lamb, and in their mouth no lie was found, for they are blameless. Now remember, it literally calls them here firstfruits, because as I just mentioned, they were those first ones here to populate the earth with divine human beings. Now, once the rebellion started, this rebel had created life in a way that was not natural. It went against actually the way Source set it up to be, where these divine beings made in their image were literally perfect. And he messed that up. And so after that, all of these steps were it was obviously a war, but all of these steps were enacted in order to remedy the situation. So this is what we have today. And all of this could have been avoided. And this is why I also tell all of you to love yourself, because once you love yourself, those of you who are one of those first fruits, you love yourself, you will start to attract the other part of yourself. And in turn, you will also know your true self and your true nature. And that's why at the end of Thunder, it says, I am close, I am within, in your heart, I am your true nature, the creativity of yourself. That's what this is talking about. Once you love yourself, get rid of all of this baggage that this system has created in order to keep you from knowing who you truly are. You will become powerful. And love is the answer, especially love of yourself. Okay, going to first person again. If my counterpart who did rebel, high-level counterpart who did rebel, would have truly known his worth and his value and his importance, he never would have rebelled in the first place. Because he would have understood that because I love me, I also love him unconditionally. And we are one. There is no competition. But because of the insecurities within himself, not feeling like he was good enough, that's what started all this. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Just to clarify this, to make sense of this and other ancient writings, they all tie in. These characters that, are so-called myths, these energies, ones that the planets are named after. Because you have to realize that Source, in her many avatars, have always loved the masculine energy and held them in high esteem because they are her and she is them. Okay, that's it. Really, take care, everyone. I love you. I'm sending you my peace, and I hope that you can heal and love yourself. Truly, truly love yourself. All right, bye-bye.